happened there. Joining us now on the air and on SuperTalk TV.
She's going, who are these two old fools?
Yeah, it's going to get worse. The director of the New Schools Project with Empower Mississippi, Elyse Marcellino. How are you today, Elyse?
I'm well. Thanks for having me.
Well, it's great to have you here. Now, tell us a little bit about this this New Schools Project, and correct me if I'm wrong. Basically, what you're going to be doing, in part at least, is helping to sort out some of the mess with charter schools and get charter schools on a good footing, right?
Yes, that's definitely that's been one of the impetuses for Embark. So our New Schools Project is actually named Embark. You can go to embark.ms to find out more. But yeah, we saw that the charter sector was not growing like we wanted to see it grow. And we believe, though there are lots of factors involved in that one of them is that there's just not enough robust support for applicants. So this is one of those, this is a project where we're going out and trying to find and engage and then guide people through that application process so that more people are successful.
Well, and we have not had a very good approval rate in terms of charter schools in Mississippi.
Right.
It's been abysmal, hasn't it?
It's been terrible. When you look at the number of people who've actually put in letters of intent and then have actually applied, it's been an 80% rejection rate of applications. So we look at that and say, there's got to be something wrong here if that many people are interested in applying and so few people are getting through. And so this is just one way that we think we can help by coming alongside those people, helping them understand the process better, navigate state laws and requirements better, and then put in a better application that is able to be more successful.
Well, and obviously you guys think that is one of the main stumbling blocks to getting more charter schools approved, is making sure people know to touch second base when they're rounding the bases and getting their application through the process. Just very briefly, though, tell us, we've talked about it before, but I want to hear your take on this. Why are charter schools important? Why do we need these?
Yeah, charter schools are public schools of choice. One thing that Empower has worked on for years is giving students and families a choice in their education so that they can find what works best. Charter schools direct public dollars in many ways, they look very similar to traditional public schools, but they have some freedom from traditional public school regulations, which is really helpful so that those school leaders can operate a little bit more freely and more innovatively. And then when families go there, it's not a matter of assignment, but a matter of choice. You have more buy-in in those schools and more of a sense of I'm choosing this particular education. I'm wanting to be successful here. So we've seen charter schools do really well across the nation. They can look very different. They're not cookie cutter. They're independent schools. But in Mississippi, we know that the satisfaction rates are huge for charter schools. It's just that the charter sector has remained so small. There are only 7 operating currently in the state, most in Jackson. And so we want to see more students across the whole state be able to benefit from what charter schools can provide. Unfortunately, the law that's in place only allows charter schools to open in D or F rated districts. So while that's a good thing for kids in those districts, we'd love to see that expand further so that every child could have that possibility in their own district.
Well, and that's I think an important thing, and you kind of can understand why the focus was on D and F rated districts. Those are the places that need it the most, but there are school districts all over the state with all sorts of ratings where this kind of school, I think, would be welcome to a lot of the parents, wouldn't it?
Absolutely. I've talked to many of those parents, and the thing that we forget is that students are individuals, and so they may not have a great experience in a very highly rated district that is great for most kids in their district, but perhaps isn't great for them. So there are many communities and groups of parents around the state where a charter school would be a really attractive option for their area, not just for their own students, but because they believe that could provide some competitive pressure in an area where it's needed.
Well, and that's the thing, and you mentioned the term cookie cutter, and I think that's important to understand that sometimes we fall into the trap, I feel like anyway, in education, of just dumping all the kids into one bucket, and that's your bucket, and that's where you're going to be, and that's what you are. And that's not the case. As you said, children are individuals, and some are going to do better in different settings. Now, you mentioned charter schools are not cookie cutter. What kind of differences could you see in a charter school versus just a normal public school?
Yeah, well, they have some freedoms when it comes to hiring and how they use their budget, their curriculum. Their leadership can look very different because it's community, it's independent, it's often community based. And so there can be just a very different culture, but also a different way of going about things that isn't so heavily regulated.
And that can be a benefit to the students, definitely.
Absolutely, absolutely. I've worked in a charter school. I helped launch one in Georgia, actually, and I just saw so many students coming from other types of settings, but generally other traditional settings, where we were able to just be more creative, provide more individualized attention. We were able to focus less on paperwork and more on providing the best education possible. And I think that's what every teacher wants to be able to do. And I think I'm partial to a charter setting because that's where I come from. But I also have seen the great benefits of that in students and families' lives.
Now, let me ask you, as Embark moves forward into 2022 and really starts to gear up and get going, how is this going to work? Are you going to be reaching out to people, or do people need to come reach out to you that are interested in going through the application process?
Both. So if you are interested in starting a new school, and I'll clarify, we are very interested in expanding the charter sector, but because we know that there are people across the state who need different kinds of options, and charter schools aren't an option in many places in the state, we also are interested in private options, specifically micro schools, which have really become have been of interest to parents since the pandemic in particular, because they offer a smaller, more flexible, often non-traditional type of educational setting, and they can stand up pretty quickly. So we are interested in working with folks who want to start those kinds of private options or want to apply to begin a charter school. And you should come to us, please. If you are listening to this, you can contact us at embark.ms. We're also, beginning some big digital marketing campaigns in the new year to find people, because we know that it's, they need a little help to be able we need a little help to be able to find them. So, that's we're doing both. And if you hear this, please come to us.
All you have to do is reach out to them. You can go to, you said embark.ms.
That's right.
That's the website you can go to get in touch with them to find out more about what they're doing. And I have a feeling Elyse will be sitting by the email waiting for you to contact her.
I am right now.
And I would hope that this would get a lot of response and a lot of people coming to you, no matter what they're looking for, because if there's one thing we know for sure, I don't care how highly rated everything is, if we got every school district to an A, there would still be room for improvement for some students. And that seems like that's the goal of Embark.
Yeah, absolutely. Our goal is that, every student has the opportunity to succeed, and every student deserves a great education. So we want to help them get that. We believe that means expanding, at least in part, that means expanding K-12 options so that more students across the state have the opportunity to find the setting that works best. And that's what we're focused on at Embark.
Embark.ms. You can go there and find out more. And Elyse will be glad to get you started down the right road to get that approval rating up. 80% rejected is not good. We can do better than that, Elyse. So keep up the good work. Keep us up to date on how it's going, and come back and we'll talk about it some more and continue to get the word out, okay?
That sounds